what I'm saying, the here and now. And it's important for, especially with everything that's happening right now, it's important to educate yourself and really get like a wide kind of outlook on things. Cool if you want to study one part of history, but make sure, you know, you're doing the befores and afters as well.
Welcome back to Lizzie One-to-One. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Now today we have Lady Sanity on the show. Now she's not shy of being hot-listed onto BBC Music introducing. So yeah, you're having quite a busy life, aren't you, really, when it comes down to music?
Honestly, like, even throughout all of this, I thought I was going to have time to catch up on Netflix and that, but I've not. It's not slowed down at all. But I'm not complaining at the same time.
I love that. Your main focus at first was Netflix, like lockdown Netflix.
Nah, the amount of shows that I've been wanting to watch, and I was like, yep, this might be my chance. Nope, not one.
I've got a list of things here. Let's just, look at my list. Let's go through it.
Oh, jeez.
This is just a fraction of what you've achieved.
Segment.
You've gone to the Commonwealth Games in Australia.
Yeah.
Performed there.
Mad.
You've even gone on the, is it GMR Daily Get Rated?
Yeah.
An award.
Yeah.
2017. Yep. I guess that's kind of near. Is that the start? That was probably near the start, wasn't it? 2017.
Yeah. That was like, I feel like that was one of the things that made me like actually start to take music more serious.
Mm-hmm. What was it like? Did you feel like, when you got up for the award, or when you received it?
I was terrified. Imagine there was like Stormzy, Skepta, all of them.
Oh wow, yo, this is my first ever award. And my first ever award show, so this is honestly such an honour. I want to make a massive shout out to Urban Development, Prince Rapid, GMR Daily, and obviously K Drinks, 0121 all day. Obviously I'm repping Birmingham. Big up to all the females in this industry as well, doing their thing and just going with their flow and not listening to anything that anybody has to say, and that's me. Thank you, guys.
I was just praying. I was like, please don't fall. Especially because I was wearing heels. I'm not a heels person. I was like, oh my gosh, please. If there's any time that my feet don't need to fail me, it's right now.
Heels is another conversation. Why we have heels, but
that's what I don't do heels too often. But yeah,
there's plenty of times this conversation. You've had 2 Birmingham Music Awards.
Yes, again.
2018 and 2019.
Yeah,
you're just collecting them, aren't you? Really? That's what.
Yeah. Even this year, like I'm up. Well, I was up for it. I'm still up for it. But the awards got moved to November. But if I don't win, it's cool.
Best solo female artist. Do you like that ring?
There we
Best solo female artist.
I do, but I feel like there's so many great, female artists in Brum. So
do you think there'll ever be a category where it's men and women? Or do you think it's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, especially just because of how music is made up at the moment. Throughout all aspects of it, it's very male dominated. So I don't know, maybe in future, but I think we have work to do beforehand.
Now let's talk about BBC's support, because they are someone who's hot on your tracks. Like, they know a good artist when they see one. But you've ended up performing in literally like a lot. The Live Lounge. I watch Fern Cottons all the time.
Yeah.
Live Lounge, and I've always loved it growing up. And you've gone to was it like BBC Radio 4? Perform there.
Yeah.
Quiet when they're up in front of you. Everybody wanna waste time on some tittle tattle for a couple views. Make a little battle and follow suit. I'm a little baffled, shuffle back to booth. I'm a little quiet, but the back is proof.
Again, that was insane. Because in that particular studio, I think it's closing down soon as well. So they've had people from like the Beatles to like Beyonce record there, like Elton John's and all of those. So it's insane to be able to go down there and perform. It was great, and they're so professional there as well. Like the turnaround, me being a bit of a studio geek as well, I was just loving life. So
yeah, and then that one part, that what do you call it? Not a trill, when you pick up the speed, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's not losing any breath.
Oh yeah.
Because it was trapping, wasn't it? Trapping that you performed.
Yeah. Again, practice makes perfect anyway.
Wall Street and you cross through on breathing. When I talk about issues, PC discussions, see grand for hands worth rights to Mark Duggan. They don't want to hear it unless it's something that's buzzing. Turn up, it's lit. Gucci Montclair, love it's a black face to a black face. That's the plan now. Let me splash now. Let the track now.
We've done that a couple of takes. And I just remember, I think the take that we did was like the second to last one. I can't remember, we've probably done about 4. But I just remember thinking, I'm gonna die soon if I have to do the song again. So is this one okay? Because I don't want to do it again.
Good, please say yes. Please. But you've also not just trapping, you ended up performing one of your new tracks, Time and Space.
Yeah. Again, wicked. We've done that from home, so that was interesting.
Give me time.
Obviously, you have the live and you have the band with you and your backing singers. What's it like having to adapt with just your phone and your microphone?
It's so weird. Again, I feed off energy, so like it's been weird. Even just doing lives, like live stream performances now. Like I don't know. I don't particularly like them just because it's like I have to rap and I also have to read comments of people saying like, you know, fire emoji or
that's weird.
Can you perform this? So I don't know, you know what I mean? Like it's like I have to read to feed off the energy, and it's a weird thing. So
it's good to know that fire emoji puts you off sometimes. There, I'll be definitely going in those comments.
Not too many fire emojis. Like calm down. A little bit of water, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
Wave emojis or something, yeah.
So where do you think this is stemmed from? Obviously, you are talented, and I always say your lyrics are thought provoking because you strike, not strike a nerve, but it's obviously it's gonna make people think about whether it's their culture, their background, and people check themselves and their lifestyles. So where does that come from?
Again, I feel like probably just when I started to rap, I've been rapping since I was in school. So, you know, at first I just did it as a hobby, but I always liked artists that, you know, could do things like story tell quite well. I always liked artists that wouldn't particularly talk about topics that were mainstream. So I think it was just the influence of those artists. And then when it came to a point where I was like, okay, I want to start writing and putting music out there, it was a thing of, wow, if this is what I like from artists, maybe that's the kind of artist that I should be. And it just developed over the years. So
like people like Miss Dynamite is another one.
100%, because of course everybody knows like Miss Dynamite's popular ones, you know what I mean, that go off in the clubs and that. But when you listen to songs like It Takes More and stuff like that, like she was rapping about some deep stuff. She was singing about some deep stuff. So again, just listening to her context, it's incredible, do you know what I mean, to look back at a time where that wasn't at the forefront, and it still isn't, but you know, for a UK artist, female black artist, to be doing that how many years ago was incredible to me. So yeah, Halo Miss Dynamite, man, honestly.
Let's be honest, it wasn't even mixed when it comes to award ceremonies and everything like that. It was predominantly white. It was.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But for her to do what she did was inspiring. I feel like if you ask any, you know, female rapper, and even the male rappers, to be fair, like Miss Dynamite is a massive inspiration to do what she'd done at a time when, you know, a lot of the odds were not in her favor. Do you know what I mean?
Are you someone
crazy
who likes,
the amount of barriers she brought down?
Do you like to look at people's first albums? Because I find that when you search someone's first album that were released before they went mainstream, I always enjoy listening to their development, where they started.
100%. I love it, and I feel like this is why I'm afraid to make an album, because like I've made EPs, of course, but like I feel like my first album.
Said this. Why is you two are exactly the same?
Like, nah, shout out Vital, yes Vital. But yeah, it's just one of them things when you put an album out there, it's your stamp on the world. And I know every track should be, but like an album is a different level. Do you know what I mean? It's something that people will go back and listen and think, you know, what space was they in? Then like what inspired them to make this art? And it's not just, you know, a couple of singles thrown together. An album is like a body of work that that tells a narrative. So it's a different level. I'm afraid to make one. It will come, but just
By any chance, are you a perfectionist? By any chance?
A little bit. Sometimes I've learned to let go, though. I've learned to let go, but it helps that the fact that like my management team are also perfectionists, so I don't feel bad.
Your team's on it, aren't they? They're on it.
They're on it, but I don't feel bad nitpicking, especially when I'll show them and they'll be like, "What do you think about this?" And they'll pick up the same things, and I'm like, "Yes, it's not just me." So it helps.
Yeah,
it helps.
let's talk about time and space then. So where are you when you decided to? Did you write it, or was it? Yeah.
Always have to write.
Yeah,
always have to write my own stuff.
Of course it is.
Yeah, you know what? It's so mad. I wrote Time and Space like a year and a half ago, and it wasn't even supposed to be on my new EP. But this is the thing. I write music all the time, and I just have like files and files of unreleased music, and I started showing my manager, some of the stuff that I'd written like last year, and it got to a point where I was like, why is this not on the EP again? I was just like, I don't know. I always intended it to have it out as like a single, but I just didn't know when. It's like, nah, you need to put it on the EP. It's like, stop playing about it. It's like, it has to be on. So it just ended up being there. But again, it was just a track I wrote, but nothing in particular other than Fuego X sent me a dope beat, and I was like, I wanna go in.
Give me time and space. I don't really wanna have to come put them in place. Flow got a nice ring, but I really can't engage. Cause if it
so is there like a real meaning in it, or is it just that you love the beat?
I think for me it was a track where it was a combination of things, because I feel like all rappers, we have like different elements. So one of the things that we like to do is have tunes that are kind of like boasty tunes, where you can just brag like, yeah, I'm the best, or like, I'm gonna be number one, or something like that. So the chorus started from that. I feel like the chorus is what came out first, and it was very much about me just needing space to develop and bloom. Like, I feel like artists at different points in their career, people try and put them into boxes, like, oh, they do this type of music, or this is their sound. And to me, I'm like, don't try and predict what I'm gonna do. Do you know what I mean? Like, give me the time and the space to develop and bloom, because every track I'm trying to get better. It's not a thing where I'm just gonna stay in one lane.
Yeah, experimenting, because you still,
there you go.
You know who you are as an individual, but you still want to experiment with what you got around
100%. 100%. And that's what that track was all about, really. It was just like, give me space to blossom.
BBC loved it. They were on that.
Oh, honestly.
And you're hot listed as well. So when did you get that news?
To be fair, I just got tagged in the post on Twitter. I didn't even know it was a thing. Yeah, I just got tagged. And the thing is, there were so many like incredible artists that I love as well. You got, Tremendous from Brum as well, who was on there. There were so many dope artists that I was alongside of, and it was just a nice thing, to see that I'm on the list, of course, but I'm on the list amongst so many peers and people that I already know. So it's almost like a new generation of rappers and singers and artists, black artists, that are coming up right now.
Mm-hmm. And now you've got a brand new single out. Well, EP, sorry.
Yeah.
Brand
new EP, yeah. Lying in Truth.
But too much will have you caged. If you want to spread your wings, let's prepare to be afraid. Let's prepare to be in flight mode, even when the skies are grey.
I'm guessing this one definitely has thought-provoking lyrics in it.
Oh, 100%, every track. Again, like I spent a good year and a half developing it. It was actually supposed to come out last year, end of last year, but I wanted to take a bit more time in it. Quite a few of the tracks, use a lot of live instrumentation, which I've started to bring more and more into my music. But yeah, the whole EP really was just it's a play on words, like to lie in truth, to, of course, actually to tell a lie, but which again, it's kind of like it contradicts itself. But my meaning of it was really just to be comfortable with your truth. So to actually lie, to lie down, to be comfortable with your truths and what's happening around you. And that was my stimulus for the whole thing, to just be completely honest with what I see, what I feel, what I think.
And I think another track of yours, BBT, which it's definitely It shouldn't have to be, but it's very much present right now.
The history's unknown, the heart and the backbone, the targeted through stones and tarnish the facts shown. I may be picky, but my hair is popping. See the way it's grown.
And it's crazy to say that I wrote that a year ago, and it's more relevant than ever. And I wrote that at a time. My grandma recently passed on my dad's side of the family, and that just meant that I don't have my grandpa or my grandma on that side anymore, and it made me frustrated because I was like, there are so many questions that I didn't get to ask about their history and where they came from and what they did when they were younger. So it was really much just me saying that we need to start exploring our history a bit more beyond slavery. Do you know what I mean? Black people weren't just sitting about one day and waiting, you know what I mean? Waiting for that to happen. You know what I mean? There was things that were happening before that. Black people were doing things before that. And even after slavery, what were we doing? What was being invented? What were we developing in our communities and stuff? So I went on a really big search last year, mainly into Black British history and the Windrush generation, but I do plan to go back and study a bit further. But yeah, it was just a call for people to really look into things other than slavery.
It's just a whole mentality side that needs to change. Because people they're quick to put their opinion out, but they don't listen to the other person. Like we all 100%. Need to listen to each other, whether the person's wrong. Because let's be honest, a lot of people can be wrong. And they don't educate themselves on anything other than what's happening right now or trending.
That's what I'm saying, the here and now. And it's important especially with everything that's happening right now, it's important to educate yourself and really get a wide kind of outlook on things. Cool if you want to study one part of history, but make sure you're doing the befores and afters as well.
Exactly. Did you get the chance to go to any of the protests? Because obviously you got a pandemic going on.
Yeah, and again, I was so conflicted about it, but I felt like if I didn't go, I would have beat myself up about it. So I did go to the one that took place in Birmingham a couple weeks ago, fully masked up, of course. I was just like, if I go there as well, my thing was, because I know quite a few people, I don't want to go there and be there for conversation. I wanted to be there to protest, you know what I mean? So I just fully went, kind of just blacked out, kind of kept myself to myself, and but it was a powerful thing. It was a beautiful thing to see. I brought my eldest niece with me also because I thought it was important for her to see that. And it was just a beautiful outcome, and it was great to see, that we really showcased that our generation are peaceful and we want change. You know what I mean? There were no arrests on the day, there was no trouble, so it was just great.
Wolverhampton's one was, they were saying in the news, which would be nice if they highlighted it more, but there was no one breaking out into fights, riots. Everyone was there peacefully to spread one message, and that's
100%.
Especially, and it's when people say they don't like saying Black Lives Matter, but the truth is it's an individual who didn't need to have their life taken away from them, and someone abused their duty. Now,
their power, 100%.
Now, I'll openly say I come from a family that I've had people in the police, and they've looked at that footage and said, that's disgusting. What he's done with his power there, there's no need for him to make that arrest the way he did. And it's disgusting what he did, because, and they all should be held accountable. Let's look at the farm. There was another one. Was it the farm riots was it London? And there's another thing where a lady, a black lady was killed. And it got out of hand. But the other thing is, what is it going to take? Is it going to take for a police officer to get hurt again?
This is what I'm saying.
Like in the farm rights, for everyone to be like, okay, now even. You don't need to be even. We need to be equal.
And this is what I'm saying. We just need change to happen. My main thing with this, and it was I think the first week that everything was kind of blowing up and people were going out protesting, I stayed off social media for quite a bit just because I just felt it was exhausting. I still haven't watched the full video of George Floyd, by the way. I can't bring myself to watch it. But it just got to a point where I was really frustrated because it was one of these things, me being an artist that speaks on these topics quite a lot as well. It's great to see that people are supporting the movement, and are really shouting about the need for equality, but I just didn't want it to be a thing that was a trend for now.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was the exhausting thing for me, because I was seeing, you know, so many people talk about it, and it's great, and people genuinely wanting to be educated. But again, I'm kind of looking at it as, are you just asking because it's a trend right now, or do you genuinely want change to happen? Are you gonna continue to hold this energy for, you know, the rest of the year, or is it just going to be for a couple of weeks until the trend kind of ends? Do you know what I'm saying? And something else picks up in media attention and on social media. So but I have a positive feeling that, you know, the conversations and the things that are taking place right now, that we are in a good position to move forward, because change has been needed to happen for a long time. George Floyd wasn't the first person to suffer at the hands of police brutality. So, you know, it's just a few cases do get highlighted and shown across the world, but this is something that happens on a regular basis. So we need the change.
And what's that? It takes something like that for people to wake up. Why can't people just educate themselves beforehand
100%.
and know their power and not abuse
100%.
it?
And this is the thing why I'm so I've said it for so long now, and I've been such an advocate for wanting the education system to change. I really think that it's important for our school system to teach kids about basically the history of Britain, the true history of Britain, you know what I mean? And racial inequality and things like that, because until we do that, kids are growing up in households that may not particularly, you know, have the views that me and you have. But if we're educating them from school and we're educating them from young, then, you know, we have a better chance. Unfortunately, in our lifetime, we may not see 100% equality happen, but I'm hopeful that, you know, possibly in my nieces or, you know, their children's generation, that they will see the effects, do you know what I mean, of what we're doing right now. So just gotta stay hopeful.
Exactly. So even through all of this, and I know I could never understand as a white woman exactly how a black person could feel, but I can try and understand. And I think that's the main thing. You have to
100%. And that's all we really ask for, you know, to just listen, because that's all it takes, and just to have conversations. And I feel like that's been the most positive thing about this. I have a lot of white friends that may not particularly be comfortable with asking questions, because the conversation doesn't happen. Of course, you just see me as a person, but unfortunately a lot of people don't. But I feel like now that the conversation is out there and out in the open,
people think people think, oh, I'm going to offend the person. No,
but this is the thing.
It's the context. If
it's a genuine question that you don't know about, if it's a genuine question that you don't know about, or you're a bit unaware of, then just have that conversation. Like, that's all that's needed. You know what I mean? Just time and patience.
Another person who's like just grounded and knows themselves, which is great. It's always nice to have conversations.
Exactly. That's all. That's what needs to happen for us to all move forward.
This is why people support you, Lady Sanity, because you got your head screwed on.
Thank you. I try.
and you've already, the fact, like you saying about your lyrics, you're already writing about this, putting this out, trying to put positive messages, but also highlighting key issues. I mean, you've had people like Sofa as well. Is it? I call it Sofa. I haven't messed it. I was like, is it on the sofa or Sofa? Was it Jack Daniels? Was it as well that it was promoting?
Oh yeah.
You were like, what?
On the video, yeah.
And then you ended up performing.
It was a good, interesting collaboration.
Yeah, like, cause I can't lose focus. Living life is a bonus. There's been times I felt hopeless, but I gotta make moves like
my bass player, who's Irish, loved it, because obviously Jack Daniels was a sponsor, and he just had a great time drinking whiskey. But again, it's great to be able to perform in those spaces, and this is why I make those songs as well, because for me in particular, having those conversations, again, sometimes it isn't easy, but with the music there to guide me, and to kind of make it more accessible, do you know what I mean? I'm able to make sure that people are having those I'm able to provoke people's thoughts and emotions with my music, it doesn't need to be a thing where I just open conversation with them. I can make conversation happen just from performing.
And people connect to it, which is
Mm-hmm.
the most important part. So what is
Mm-hmm.
I always ask people, what's the future for Lady Sanity? I know we're in COVID-19 and I hope you're being good in quarantine as well. You can answer that one.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the future now?
The future's looking really bright, to be fair. I've spent a lot of time throughout this really just making music. I have stupid amounts of music stacked up now. And really I'm just looking, I always hate these questions because I don't want to say too much.
Come on,
but no,
give it to me. Give me the exclusive.
There's some really important and positive things happening for me. There's some big changes happening for me towards the end of this year too. So yeah, I'm excited for the future.
What is that? No. I'm like, what is that?
And
what is that change?
are you gonna let us know?
Is it to do with the signage or?
Nah, nothing like that. But just some.
Why are you saying
stuff,
it like that, Lady Sanity?
Some good stuff.
Why are you saying it like that? I'm like, come on, I can't tell now if you're telling me the truth. Stop it.
Just, you'll see it. It will be great. It will be great. And even the music that I've got coming out with, for the longest, I've always wanted to incorporate like live instrumentation fully into my music. So that will be happening very soon as well. So
I love your sound, because when I was listening, because obviously I like R&B, I've always liked rap, but I also like a bit of rock. And you also have jazz. And when you did trapping, when you did that version as well,
live, yeah,
I was like, that guitar, that is nice.
And this is the thing that I've always wanted to showcase, because a lot of people don't understand, like, my influences are so deep. Like, I listen to ridiculous amounts of different music. When I was a teenager, I was heavy into rock and metal and all of those things. Like Rage Against the Machines. Rage Against the Machines are one of my biggest influences, and I always say that. So yeah, it's important to me to be able to show that side as well. And plus, when you play that kind of stuff live, it always goes off. So.
And they all come from deep places. When you look at jazz, you look at rhythm and blues, you look at rock, they're all stood for their own reasons.
And this is what I'm saying. They're so embedded in
their era.
Just freedom of expression as well. Like, there are certain emotions that I can get out on jazz that I can't get out on rock, do you know what I mean, and vice versa. So that's why I find it interesting to do the live versions with the guys as well. So obviously trapping, when you're listening to it on the recorded version, it just sounds very much like 808s kind of, it's that hip-hop kind of influenced by trap, possibly grime, but then to spin it completely and make it sound rock, give it a rock edge, again, that just brings a different layer to it. And again, it opens it up and brings it into new spaces. So,
and something that you always, which I respect you for doing, you always are open about funding. When you started up, and you if you check it out and you do get a chance, you go on Lady Sanity's Instagram, you have a little tips, don't you? And on YouTube,
it's on YouTube and on Insta. So again, I feel like funding is one of these things. I've done a few classes in like colleges and things like that, just talking about funding, and I felt like it got to a point where every time that a new funding application opened, I'd get like a handful of people reaching out to me and saying, oh, I noticed that you got this funding, how did you get it, or like, how can you got any advice or tips? So now I just thought it made sense to make the video so I can just send them in the right direction rather than sending 25 messages, do you know what I mean? So now I can just direct people, and people can just watch it even if they don't follow me. But I just feel like a lot of people don't know that funding is available for them as a creative. But it's there. People want you to succeed. You just have to look out for it.
So what drives you? What is something that's embedded in you that drives you to get up every day and you're like, you know what, I'm going to express how I feel? And what's pushed you into this industry?
I think it's just the love of music. Like I said, I geek out on everything to do with music. I geek out on music tech. I have like stupid amounts of equipment in my room. I studied music tech at uni. So yeah, I'm just a bit of a tech head anyway.
I'm like, where's your address so I can just take a few? No.
Let me just come and see, just to make sure. But yeah, just music in general. And the thing is, nobody in my family does music, which a lot of people find interesting. Because a lot of people that I speak to, you know, they have like, oh, they'll say like, my dad used to DJ, or my mom used to be a singer, or this and the other. Like, my mom's an accountant, and my dad is a handyman. So
you've influenced yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. This is the thing. But again, I feel like with the culture that I come from, you know, Caribbean culture, music is very much just like the sound of unity. So even though nobody was a musician or anything, music just brings me kind of comfort, because every time that family is around, you know, music will be playing and stuff like that. And I just grew up with a lot of different musical interests. Being the youngest of a lot of grandkids as well, I had to watch a lot of music videos and you know, listen to a lot of stuff. So I feel like it's just my environment just influenced me really more than anything else.
Well, Line in Truth is out, and make sure. Yeah, I'm like pre-order, but I'm like, it's already out. At least you don't need to pre-order it. Just buy it, download it.
Therefore, keep streaming it. It's on Bandcamp as well. There won't be any physicals, but yeah, just keep on supporting it.
I can't keep up with all these different things. Deezies, I'm like, what's all these new?
Honestly, but Bandcamp is one of those, because a lot of people quite a few people don't use like streaming platforms. So
Sounds
Bandcamp
like
is just
Pie.
like
Sounds like American Pie. Like some Bandcamp. One time at Bandcamp. It's worse because I'm her hair colour saying that. Right.
You set yourself up for that.
I know I did. Oh, supposedly through school I look like every red-headed ginger person, but anyway, that's another conversation. Oh, I'm that one out of Twilight Victoria. Yeah, Ginny Weasley. No. Anyway, sorry. I'm looking forward to your future, and even though you can't tell me, you know.
Not yet. I will tell you though. I will tell you. I promise. You can hold me to it.
Just send me a DM. I'll keep it a secret.
By the way, this is what I couldn't say.
I'll be like, oh, why didn't you tell me? But yeah,
you're just gonna screenshot and put it at the end of the video.
No, I would never do that. I'd never want to out anything like that. But yeah, I wish you all the best, and thank you so much for joining me.
No problem. Thank you for having me.